what I'm experiencing in my market is that we have the same thing. We're about halfway through. So right now of inventory here in where I'm my market in Pennsylvania. So we're at about 1,500 units. I checked last night, the MLS. Healthy market is 3,000 units. Here's what's interesting though. While technically we have a shortage of inventory, what I'm finding and talking to other investors is that the buyers are not there. Properties are sitting. So the data that's out, it's lag data. I have a property now on the market for 6 weeks and I've had about 5 showings. I was talking to my wife this morning and I was telling her a year ago we would have been scheduled to close already or been closed by now. It's weird because even though inventory is low, because of the talking heads, the buyers are not coming out to play. And I don't know what to make of it, man. What are your thoughts on that? Is that your experience there in Jersey?
Well, we're not really selling a whole lot of real estate right now. We sold our last flip in the summertime. We don't have any wholesale deals right now. We're developing some land, but those aren't ready to hit the market yet. So for the most part, we're more in the rental space, which is pretty strong right now. We do have one building that we're struggling a little bit to find a good tenant, but it's not in a good area. It's kind of one of those buildings that we got a good price on it. We weren't crazy about the area, but we were like, hey, you know what? There's a development going on there. If you look 2 blocks down, there's a big apartment complex coming in. Like, this area eventually will improve. So we're kind of just parking our chips there, but that's a building we've always had a little trouble leasing based on the area. We don't have laundry in the units. There's not enough space. So it's really a Class C building. So it sits a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's other than that, we have huge rental demand in our nicer properties and nicer markets. And, really, we just dropped the rental price a little bit on some of our less desirable units. And that would indicate the rental market is softening.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, and it is softening. But it's not like no one's showing up to the open house. It's like we are getting traction. We are getting applicants. We just want to be very picky with selecting a tenant, which is kind of rule 101 of managing real estate the right way. Don't put in a problem tenant from the start. So I'd rather it sit vacant a little bit longer and we wait for the right tenant. But again, we dealt with this problem in a great market, right? This is just kind of one of those properties that it's, you want to attract the right tenant, you're going to wait a little bit longer. So, we're seeing that there, but for the most part, there is less bids on properties. I think there's less of a frenzy going on. Now when we're bidding on properties, we're still not getting quite the price we want, but there's less competition at least for that property. So it's kind of a slow degrade of property demands, but it's not this like quick, flash in the pan. And at the same time, there is still a lot of capital on the sidelines looking to be put to work in real estate.
Yes, sir.
And those people are starting to get antsy. I mean, the last thing you want is the missing out, right? Fear of missing out, FOMO. We all have it, and that FOMO is going to start kicking in like April, May, gets warmer. You got, springtime comes, you want to do something. You're tired of keeping your money in the bank. An article comes out on CNBC that says the market's back, one indication of this or that. But I want to also make another point here, jobs, right? Let's talk about jobs for 1 second. There's 1.7 jobs in America for every willing and able
job seeker.
Right? Yeah, job seeker. Okay, so that means even if all those people figured out how to interview properly and get a job, there'd still be 0.7 jobs available. Okay, so at that point, we really have just such a healthy, great employment market. It's still a good time to upgrade to a better job. So that is so different than what we saw in 2008, 2009, 2010. The main problem there, the scariest thing was we saw people going from white collar jobs making $80, $90, $100,000 a year, to working at the greeter at Walmart, right? And we all panicked and we said, oh my God, what a scary job environment, right? Now you lose your job, like everyone got fired at Twitter, right? I saw a study like 85% of those people got a new job within 30 days, and like a better job probably. So like, it's just, it's really a healthy job market. Businesses, although they're a little nervous about the future, interest rates and so on, borrowing is more expensive. For the most part, it is still a healthy environment. People are still buying products and services. Consumerism is still decent, and that is a big staple in our economy here in America. But I mean, jobs is like just a glaring white light in this looming recession here, and that's also going to encourage the Fed to keep raising rates. So it's a
Yeah.
double-edged sword you got to watch
Yes.
out for as well.
You hit on some really good points, which is employment. Employment is the key to real estate. It was one of the key components, not the key, but one of very important key components to real estate. People have jobs, people buy houses, people rent, they can pay our rent. We like to buy properties where there's industry and big companies are going, right, where there's work. You follow the jobs, you buy real estate where the jobs are because there's people going there and there's going to be a demand for rental, housing, for all of it.